don't hold a meeting in the soda aisle. Short and stupid. I live in an upper middle class suburb of New York City. Some of the people in my town are a bit entitled. Anyway, onto the story. When I work from home I dress very casually, basically sweats, and I don't bother shaving. I find weekdays to go shopping to be the best as the store is not too crowded. I wanted to get some diet soda for the weekend, and a well-dressed late 20s early 30s man was on his phone, standing in front of the soda I wanted. I said excuse me, and he rolled his eyes and said just because I'm wearing a suit and talking business on the phone doesn't mean I work here. I replied I just need to get what you're blocking. He huffed, mumbled something about lazy people who don't have a job to whoever he was speaking to, and moved over. Now if that was the end of the story I wouldn't have bothered posting, but of course it's not. I heard him mention a type of case in our local state courthouse next town over is the county seat in the same practice area my wife and I practiced in when we were practicing law. I closed her firm when she passed, just wasn't the same. Our county is small enough so that if you're practicing for a few years, you know most of the lawyers and judges in your area of law. Still a little annoyed from our interaction, I decided to play a bluff. I asked, "Are you talking about type of case in front of Judge X?" Startled. He replied, "Why do you want to know?" My response, "It sounds like the case my wife and I are opposing counsel on in front of Judge X in courtroom 123 next week." Dude turned very white very fast. He was indeed talking about a case that was going to be in front of Judge X next week. Fortunately for him, I remembered our case was the following week to let him know that he hadn't just royally messed up. Followed with a suggestion he may not want to have those type of conversations where he can be overheard. Moral of the story: don't have a confidential conversation in public, and don't underestimate some slob dressed in sweats. So do you work here? So do you work here? So I say sir. A brief I don't work here lady with a small existential twist of dread for myself. I was one of those large outdoor outlet mall this morning checking various stores as everything winter gets turned over in preparation for spring. I was there browsing a store that caters towards the outdoorsy types when our story takes place. A gentleman of between 50 to 60 years of age dressed up like he's on his way to host a livestock auction with a luxurious handlebar mustache whose length and neatness indicated to me that it was likely a point of pride, said something as I walked by. On my days off I tend to drift along using headphones or Bluetooth headsets to keep myself immersed in music, audiobooks or podcasts. I at first ignored him, as I do most folks, until the repetition of his statement broke through my mental bubble. "Sir," I say, "Sir, sir, excuse me sir, sir, do you work here? Sir, can you hear me?" So I say sir, at which point I stopped and looked at him, checked myself for what had caused this. I still wearing a typical day off clothing, battered navy sweatshirt and pants coated liberally in husky fur from when my dog brushed up against me leaving the house, finished off with old tennis shoes. Being more confused now, I responded, "So I do not work here, but what makes you think I do?" I've had I don't work here lady in the past, and I've normally had an obvious reason. Wearing my work polo places gets me labeled as a manager, or my lanyard confuses them for an employee, but that's when I'm at work doing IT installs or repairs, not my off days. My off days I more often get mean looked at by security, confusing me for a vagrant. The man with the magnificent mustache responded, "Oh okay then, but you see." At that moment a real store employee materialized from around the corner of our extreme weather jacket display and asked if he could help us. At which point the gentleman turned to him and began questioning him about boot socks. Leaving me with my questions. What was he going to say? I could very well not demand answers, lest I come off as a lunatic, nor follow the man as the two left to a different part of the store. I left the store right after, but what was he going to say? The angry Karens I can deal with, I deal with them at work every day. Try fixing our director's computer on payroll day and know my pain. It's these encounters where I question what exactly is anyone thinking minute by minute that concerns me. "You must work here because you look dirty." Had an idle moment yesterday. I'm in HVAC school right now, so I get out mid-afternoon most days. Yesterday, I get a call saying my brand new recliner chair was ready for pickup from the furniture warehouse. I ordered it a month ago and it just got to the distribution center, so I booked it over after class and thought about how great to have a chair that's mine again and not falling apart. My current one is 14 years old and my daughters tend to claim it when I get up for more than 10 seconds. That being said, I get to the warehouse, go in and get the order processed for pickup and back my truck to the bay door and wait, as told by customer service. Thus, the incident. Older entitled dude Edie. Sentient being me. Edie pulls up in very nice, very well polished Cadillac right next to me, 2 spaces over from bay doors and sits there. Looks around for a minute, sees me leaning on tailgate of my truck, and stares at me for probably 30 seconds before he loses patience. I'm obliviously looking at my phone and waiting for delivery of my chair. Edie hey, yells this through rolled down car windows. Me, heard his yelling but didn't care enough to look up. Edie hey. I know you can hear me. Lays on car horn at this point. Me what? Edie come here now. Me no, I'm good. Edie stupid lazy little shit, get over here and get my furniture order. Me okay, this can't really be happening, so I sauntered over. What the hell are you barking about and why are you yelling at me? Edie because I'm a paying customer and you're not being paid to sit on your ass, so get in there and get my furniture now. Me okay, now I get it. You think I work here? Well, I don't. Edie yes you do. You're dressed like a dirty warehouse worker, you're just being a lazy entitled asshole. Keep in mind, this guy is yelling at me, calling me lazy and entitled while sitting in a 80k car. Me look old man. If you want your furniture processed, you have to go inside like everyone else and get the customer service people to process it. There ain't curbside service here. Edie this is your last warning punk. Go get my furniture. Me okay, I'm gonna go back to wait for my stuff now. Right about then, the bay door opens and an actual employee comes out with my chair on a dolly. Employee is wearing shorts, sneakers, a harness and a t-shirt that says the furniture store on it. I'm in a hoodie, long work pants and boots, so no actual resemblance to employee. Employee helps me load the chair still boxed up into my truck bed and I sign the sales receipt for it. Meanwhile Edie has finally gotten out and it's stalling his way over. Bitching to the heavens over all the injustices of the world and how millennials are ruining everything. I guess I'm a millennial now, even though I'm over 40 and my beard is going grey. I got the chair all strapped down and hopped out of my truck bed, shook the actual employee's hand and got in and started my truck. Employee must have been used to the insanity of entitled customers because he was completely ignoring the Edie. Instead he just pushed the dolly back in and closed the bay door. Edie was hollering and cussing up a storm as I started up and drove away. Not the most satisfying story, but still ended with a smile on my face. Edit words. You be the employee, I'll be the manager. I just moved to a new city and was taking a look around the local superstore on my lunch break. I wasn't planning on getting anything except a drink, so no cart or basket, which added to the confusion. Before I rounded an aisle the yelling started, and around the corner I saw a woman berating a tall fella with a shopping basket, standing with his head down. The woman was shrieking about how much of an idiot he was, how store could hire stupid morons and how she was going to get his sorry ass fired, all the while he's saying, "But mom, I'm just shopping, I just helped that lady get something from the shelf," and the ever famous, "I don't work here," she was not having it. "I want to speak to your manager right now." Just as I got to the middle of the aisle she turned and saw me, looked me up and down and screeched, "Finally. Your manager is here and she'll take care of you," as she stood with her hands on her hips and a smug look on her face. I decided whatever, two can play this game. So I asked her what the problem was. Apparently my employee was helping another lady, but when she wanted him to go get something from the back for her, he refused. I looked at him, winked and said, "Is that true? Did you refuse to help this lady?" And before he could say anything I turned back to her and said, "Thanks for bringing this to my attention. I'll take it from here." I turned back and said, "Would you please come with me?" and he nodded and followed me out of the aisle. As we got to the corner he turned back to me and said, "I'm sorry mom, I don't actually work here, I said. Me neither, but she doesn't need to know that. Are you okay? He started to smile, then looked behind me and his eyes widened. She was back. I said, loud enough for her to hear, I'm sorry, this isn't working out. Please clock out and go home, and next time you come here, it will be as a customer, not staff. I turned to her, nodded, and walked out the door. So, I, the non-manager at a grocery store, fired a non-employee and everyone went home happy. Except me, because I forgot to pick up a drink in all the excitement.